Alright, so we got another death battle this weekend. The guys at SGC, Screw Attack Gaming Convention, decided to do another episode of Goku vs. Superman. Now let's be clear, my feelings are this is, hype for this convention. I like the guys at Screw Attack. We actually met in spite of how butthurt I guess I was with my bias for Goku as a character that is relatable and likable versus the boring, limitless Superman idea or whatever. So the last time I made that video, it was more or less about the characters and how they would act versus just the straight up fight. So my analysis was somewhat clouded then, but looking back at that and some of the points they made, I'm like, alright, again, this new video wanted to emphasize that no matter how much power Goku gains, he's still going to lose to a character like Superman that always has a way, I guess, at some point to rise above a challenge. And then this goes to the writers. The writers can write whatever they want. There's just more of a continuity with the Dragon Ball universe than there is with the DC universe. This is a big problem I have with DC in general anyway. Out of the blue, some character just has some way to do something that wasn't explained clearly. It's just there. But I digress. I know I just hit several different areas of, my argument before even finishing one, I feel. But yeah, this screamed as a, hey, let's just make everybody kind of cheesed off again. And maybe some people out there were like, hey, that's how it should be, that's fine, that's fair. And I'm not upset at this anyway. If their logic the last time was, hey, Goku is a character that has limits and Superman is one that does not, this is how it should be. So, the animation was good just like the last one. It's actually kind of better in this one, in my opinion, so kudos for that. My problem is they, again, want to show that Goku has limits. That's cool, but the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan hasn't really even been fleshed out yet. So you just automatically throw the red and then the blue hair on him and he still loses to Superman? Like, we don't really know much about this character yet. Dragon Ball Super just started. Resurrection of F just came out. He's fought one person, but you're saying despite all of that, he's going to lose. Now I remember Frieza was that guy that looked like he had, infinite power or whatever, even though he had a limit, I guess. But, Goku rose above that. So since we can't quantify Superman's power, that doesn't mean, in my opinion, that Goku should just always be subject to lose. That's my biggest problem. There was a scene in there where Goku just looked like he acted like Vegeta would act, where he just did this Kamehameha wave on Earth, didn't care what was in the background, what was going to be destroyed. I felt that was an opportunity for Screw Attack just to move the battle somewhere else. That was a complaint a lot of people had the last time. They just, I guess, didn't do that. And Goku's just like, oh, I will beat you. And it's just like, he does not act like that. At least get the character right. The biggest gripe people have is, one character's a good character, the other character's a lame character. At least have them act in character. That's what really makes me upset. It's one thing to hear these voices that in a million years I would not peg to sound like, Goku, but I'm starting to rant again. Yeah, that should be it, because they apologized. I don't even know if apologize is the right word, but they wanted to cover their bases on topics that people would have had question-wise, like, well, if you'd have done this and done that and done this. They appeared that they wanted to make this the final fight, even though they could make a Goku vs. Superman 3 and, an SGC 2 years from now, who knows. But at some point in time, I feel like, hey, maybe Toriyama comes up and is like, alright, Goku's not even at his actual prime yet. So, hell, I would love it if Funimation made fun of DC and had some kind of character like Superman and just had Goku just have his way with him, so you guys could stop with all this limitless stuff. And yeah, it still wouldn't be Superman, but Superman is a character that can be beaten by Batman with kryptonite. So you give Goku some kryptonite, you give him some magic. Where was the power pole in this fight? Super Saiyan God, Goku, Super Saiyan, or whatever. I still can't. See, it's so new I can't even say it right. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, Goku. But yeah, give him the power pole and see what happens then. Give him his max. Yeah. Give him a sensu bean. I don't know. There's too many different factors. That's the difference between American superheroes and Japanese superheroes. Some of these American ones, it's just like, hey, whatever we write today, they don't really have to struggle. They just have to approach it a different way and they win. The Japanese ones are like, hey, we've got to constantly work, we've got to constantly evolve. We're about changing stories. Certain things, don't last forever. American ones, yeah, we'll rewrite this, we'll retcon this, and bring it back to normal it's more about the sales, not really the story. But that's a whole different conversation. But in the end, yes, Superman won again, as expected. When you analyze a battle from a certain perspective, not much is going to change if you're going to view it the way you viewed it. So yeah, I'm just putting this out there in the interwebs. If you agree, comment. If you don't, comment anyway and say why you don't agree like you guys did the last time. Alright then, see you next time.